Hey folks, here at OS Reviews. So smart home products is definitely a trend that's increasing in popularity over the past 2 years. And today we're taking a look at a low-cost version that's quite unique and how it combines advanced features that I haven't seen before into a cohesive system by Xiaomi. So this is the Xiaomi Smart Home Devices Kit, and it's bundled together by GearBest for around 75 bucks. Now, that might not sound super cheap at first, but there's actually a lot of things that you can do with this, and I think that overall it is worth the price if you are starting to invest in more of Xiaomi's smart home products, and this will expand, of course, on the functionality. Now, again, these devices were meant to be sold separately, but again, it's GearBest that's distributing them together as a kit, which in many ways makes sense. So as part of the kit, you get the Yeelight RGBW E27 LED bulb. So this is a Wi-Fi connected smart light bulb that can change color, temperature, gradient, and things like that. It just can be inserted into a standard socket, and of course it uses LEDs, which means it's very energy efficient and will likely not burn out like a traditional filament-based bulb. The center here is the Mi Home Air Conditioner Companion. Think of this like a light version of the Mi Smart Gateway hub that we checked out a few weeks ago. So it's very similar. It's basically a smart wall socket that's connected to the internet. And in this set, this remains kind of the gateway that combines all these things. So basically the app connects to this, and this is also sending signals to these companion tools. It also features some speakers, which you can use for alarms, for waking up in the morning, and perhaps even streaming some music from a select list of networks and radio services, but unfortunately most of those are still in Chinese since this is a product that's meant originally for Asia and China as opposed to Western countries. So you can see some basic information printed on the back. Again, it has Wi-Fi built on in, it has 2.4G, Zigbee, which is what's being used to communicate between the smart home appliances, and again, it's very small and compact. Original intent was for air conditioners, but again, you can really plug in any appliance and then manually turn it on or off using the app. Finally, and the most interesting thing about this kit, in my opinion, is the Xiaomi Magic Controller. This is a cube that uses gestures to control what happens with the other appliances connected to your network. So for instance, we take a quick look at the design of this cube. We can see that basically it looks like a standard shrunken down, almost like a Rubik's Cube. It's very clean, and whenever you do an action such as twist it onto one side or even swivel it, it's going to sense that motion because of advanced gyroscopes and accelerometers embedded onto it. And it will correspond that gesture with something like changing the light green, or turning the light off, or turning the appliance on, turning it off, playing a music, playing a song, things like that. So you can set up a lot of things that can be navigated using this cube, which remains a really cool conversation starter on your desk. The downside, before we really launch too much into this review, is that you can see how the cube has almost identical looking sides, and the Xiaomi logo isn't really prominent. So it's a little tough to quickly know kind of what side is facing up, or is the home state. And then because of that, you may have to have a bit of a learning curve to get used to all the gestures. But before we dive into that, that's pretty much everything about the kit. I would say the Magic Controller here is powered by a Cell CR2450 battery, which can also be removed and replaced using an accessory that they give you. It's a pen that you can slide off. Of course, each of the individual packages also comes with a dedicated user manual that tells you a bit more about the app that you can download for Xiaomi. It's actually a unified Xiaomi smart home app, so it combines all the many electronics that they're releasing into one cohesive app, which is nice. Works with both iOS and Android. And here we can see what some of the gestures correspond to, where again you can slide it or twist it to have the action on something like the Yeelight, or perhaps on a smart door alarm, something like that, to arm it or disarm it. Some other things to quickly point out: the air conditioner, again, is the gateway of this particular set, and it also features temperature and humidity sensors that will tell you the room temperature, turning off the appliance if it reaches a certain degree, which is useful. There's also intelligent timing, so again, you can turn off the AC or lamp that's plugged into this after an hour or something like that. And it also gives you data about power consumption, so how many watts of energy you're using, things like that. So pretty cool. Finally, the Yeelight here offers 1,600 million colors for choice, which is quite impressive. Alright, so this is what the set looks like. You can see it definitely belongs in the same family from a design perspective. The Yeelight itself has a aluminum kind of base and also a plastic top, so it seems actually quite sturdy. Interesting shape, but again, it's a standard E27 port, which can insert onto any standard socket across the world. This is the air conditioner kind of home gateway system. There's a simple tap key on the top here that you can use to turn the unit on or off. Again, speakers located on the sides, simple plug for an appliance, and also the sensors down below. Size-wise, again, it is smaller than the full-size main gateway that we checked out a few months ago. So here's what the Yeelight looks like when it's plugged into power. You can see that it also kind of flashes right now. That just tells you that actually it's in the pairing mode and it's ready to connect. You can see that it does display kind of a wide spectrum of colors that indeed can be set pretty easily. So again, you use the Xiaomi Mi Home app, and right now you would select to add a device from Mijia, which translates to Mi Home in Chinese, and then you can do that either by finding it from the home page, when the light is turned on, or you can tap on the plus key to manually add a device, and that allows me to select the option here, which is the one that's called Yeelight, and you can see an image of glowing lights. That means it's a multicolor edition, as opposed to the version that's only for a white color. So I want to add this one, and you simply tap on it and it can be added. From there, the interface itself allows you to change, again, the color of the light. It's nothing that we haven't seen before, except that the light is, again, using Wi-Fi as opposed to Bluetooth to connect to your home network. And from there, you can control it using your phone, regardless of where your physical location is. You don't have to be within Bluetooth range, which is 10 meters or 33 feet. Instead, as long as the light is connected to the internet, you can control it when your phone is also connected to the internet. So you could be in a different country and then turn the light on or off. And the same process repeats in terms of pairing with the gateway hub, which is, again, the AC version that we have here, slightly smaller and more compact. Now, just like the the original gateway that we saw in the other Xiaomi Mi Home Smart Kit that we checked out, it does use the AC kind of prong system that's more commonly found in Asia. And so in the US, you can see how these two ports in the bottom are slanted and not straight. So it's not going to work directly just by plugging it into the wall. You do need to have an adapter if you plan on purchasing this international kind of Chinese-based version, something to quickly point out. But you can see that in the diagram here, this is the one that you want to tap on to connect. And then also with the cube. The cube here, I've removed the back cover so that you can see this is what the cell-based battery looks like. And then down below here, you'll see a small LED indicator light and also a tab that you need to press on to initiate the pairing. When you see the blue light start to flash, you can then connect it to the companion app by form of first pairing the gateway, and then afterwards the gateway is going to communicate with the smart cube and other accessories that's connecting with the gateway. So make sure that you pair this first, and afterwards it's pretty easy and just takes about 30 seconds to pair successfully, and you can then use the gestures to navigate and turn things on and off. Alright, so that's just been our video unboxing and first impressions look at the Xiaomi Smart Home Kit version 2.0, essentially. That includes the gateway AC controller, the gesture cube, and also the Yeelight. You get one of those multicolored lights in this kit. I think that it's definitely more of a niche kit overall compared to the first one, which is probably going to appeal to more users just because it has a traditional kind of home security sensor for doors and windows, whereas this one is a bit more niche. It's fun to play around with, and it's definitely useful to program it with other existing products you may already have by Xiaomi, and that expands the functionality of your collection. But to start off with, I would still think the other version makes a bit more sense for most general users and consumers here in the States. Nonetheless, this is a pretty interesting package, and we'll come out with more testing and, of course, a more in-depth review with more demos soon. But this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.